Good morning. We will go ahead and call our MAPS 4 Citizens Advisory Board meeting for April 7th, 2022 to order. First action item on our agenda is item number 2, approval of the minutes of the March 3rd board meeting. They were included in the packet that was sent out, so I'd take a motion in a second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please vote. Okay. Did you get it? Yes. Okay, great. I'm assuming the motion passed? Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 3, items for consideration. A, receive the MAPS 4 Revenue and Expenditure Report. Mr. Todd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have in your packet the Revenues and Expenditure Report for the period ending February 28th, 2022. Real quickly on the revenue side for the month, $11,652,614 for total $214,887,927. And I want to point out that we are 2.3% above projections right now.
That is great news.
It's very good news. So on the expenditure side for the month, $338,947 and total of $11,909,616. And if you have any questions, I will try to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Todd? So how will the transfer of the funds to the trust be reflected?
They will show up on here. We're not showing them right now as far as expenditures, but they will show up. I'll make sure they're on there next month. We'll have to figure that out because it's a little unusual.
Right. Well, and how it's
but it has occurred.
Right. Well, and how it's apportioned out to each of the projects.
Right.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, give us something to look forward to next.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So with that, I'll take. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay. Motion passed. Thank you. So moving on to item 3B, recommend receiving consultant review committee report for the MAPS 4 Neighborhood Connectivity Phase 1, authorizing negotiation of an engineering services contract with Kimley Horn and Associates. Mr. Todd?
So this is, as you've seen before, the usual procedure that we go through with the interviews, the advertisement through Public Works, the responses that we get, the short list, and we did interviews on these with 3 different, is it 3 or 4? 3 firms. 3. I've done so many I can't remember. Sometimes it's 4. It just goes to show you we got a lot of stuff rolling here. So the interviews were conducted, and it was decided that Kimley Horn should be the ones that we would negotiate a contract with. This is for connectivity within the Innovation District. This includes, sidewalks and bike lanes, those kind of things, and also the bridge connection on 10th Street that's part of the program.
Okay. Any questions? If not, take a motion and a second to receive. Please cast your vote. Okay, the motion passed. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 3C, design update presentation of the MAPS 4 Fairgrounds Coliseum.
So this is one project that is definitely ahead of all the others, and that is because remember that MAPS 3 funded the design piece of this project, and it's been ongoing for about a year. Travis Pauly is here today from Populous and wanted to give you just an update of where we are on the design, because what you're going to see shortly this summer is plans that show up, and we're going to advertise this, and then once it goes out for advertisement, then it becomes this body's responsibility to build the project. Right. So, Travis.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here to present this to you guys, give you an update. I know I was here not too long ago presenting the initial designs to you all, so you're familiar with it. So I'll try not to talk through the repeat of the design and how we got there, and we'll dig in a little bit more into where we are currently with the plans. So just giving us a frame of reference, once again, we're right here at the fairgrounds along I-40 and I-44, main entry off of May Avenue there on Gordon Cooper Boulevard. Replacing the existing Nork Arena, built in 1965, as we know, full all year long with over 250 event days a year, and we're going right up there next to it. As I pointed out last time, we're actually overlapping just slightly a little bit of the front entry of the Nork Arena due to a couple factors. One, those utility restrictions that prevent how far away we can get, and two, the fact that we want the Nork Arena to remain operational throughout the construction of this new Coliseum, so we can't go right on top of it. So with that, this will be done in phases, which I'll walk through in the next few slides. Before that though, just one item to point out on this slide that wasn't on the previous presentation is that expanded parking that's shown right there to the south of the railroad tracks. That is a separate project from ours. They're starting that right now, and that will replace the parking that our Coliseum is gonna overtake with our new building. So phase one of the project is going to be the removal of that part that we overlap the existing Nork Coliseum. And this shows the demolition portion in orange there and the new construction portion in blue, which I'll zoom in a little bit on these next few slides. You can see here that portion on your right that's highlighted in yellow is the portion that we'll be taking off to make room for the new construction. That is currently the main entry to the Nork Arena. And so we will need to reroute entry and provide some new exit doors when that's taken off. That's where those other two smaller areas that are shown highlighted, those are demolition to make room for the new exit doors. So when that's done, this is what the Nork will look like during construction of the new Coliseum. The main entry will become the entry there on the north side of the building, which should work pretty well for us. It's already one of the main entry points. And we'll locate a temporary ticket office right outside of that in front of the stairs there for them to use. The other areas that you see are areas where we're relocating those egress elements that I talked about, the exit doors, to make up for the doors that are being removed in the area that's being demolished. So phase two will be the construction of the new Coliseum. And phase three will be the demolition of the existing Nork Arena. And we'll zoom in on that a little bit. So the one thing to point out here that's different from the last time that I showed this to you guys is that after talking with a lot of engineering teams, demolition contractors, and other groups, we think that we're going to be able to save that show office that's shown in blue there. That is a kind of unique structure. It's the last thing to be added to the Nork, and it really straddles in between, as you can see, the super barn there on your left and the Nork Arena, and facilitates both sides. It is literally nested inside the super barn. So the demolition of that was going to be really complex. And so we started studying, can we keep that, because it's really critical to the fairgrounds operations, and to demo it and have to build a brand new one is going to be a lot of trouble for them. And if we can keep it, it will save us quite a bit of money in the project. And so after consulting with several of those firms, we determined that, yeah, with some selective demolition and careful demolition work, we think that we can keep that. A portion of it will be removed on the portion that utilizes that Nork ring wall there. So we will build back a new portion on the east side of that. So that's what you see here in phase four. And thinking about that, we thought it makes a lot of sense to kind of square that thing off so that it's ready for the connector when it comes on board, and we can put that right up against there. That'll need to be a firewall, so having a nice clean straight wall right there will allow us to build that firewall and connect the connector right up against it. And from the exterior, you'll never notice that that's got that kind of odd geometry in the middle there. So you can kind of see here with those dash lines where the connector would abut that show office there, and then come across on the other side and connect to the new Coliseum. So this is our current site plan. You can see the nice plaza space there on the north side that will eventually extend all the way across to the super barn when the connector's done. The entry plaza there off of Gordon Cooper Boulevard at our main entry, and then coming around the south side, we've got some landscaping to shield the chiller yard, and then our Del Mar Gardens entry and loading area there on the south. Looking at the floor plan, hadn't changed a lot since the last time you saw it. I'll zoom into each area so that we can look at it a little more in depth here, starting with quad A that's in your upper right and then going around in a clockwise direction. So here in quad A, we've got our lockers up at the top half shown in orange. We've got 6 total lockers, 4 shown here. Those have an operable partition between 2 of them so they can open up into a larger locker room space. We've got our court storage there where the basketball tournaments, that's where the courts will be stored and the goals. Our main restrooms here off the main lobby there, shown in navy blue, and then our retail space there in purple. Multi-function space, it'll be left open so they can program it however it's needed per event. We've located doors on both the exterior side and the interior side so they can program that and access control it so that the exterior doors are locked if they have an arena event that they only want access from the arena side, or if they have the fair going on and they want to open up the Made in Oklahoma store in there, but they don't have something going on in the arena, they can open up those exterior doors and lock up the interior doors and have that access right there from the exterior. We've got our ticket office there with a couple of offices and in the secured area and a conference room and 2 additional offices outside of the secured ticket area. As we come on around, we've got our retractable storage and chair storage here for the floor events. So those will come right out those big overhead doors and come through that back of house south area and go right onto the floor for the events where we have the full seating capacity. Those will be stored right there when they're not in use. We've got our judges platform that's shown right there in green, centered on either side. That is right off the arena floor. That's one of the unique spaces that we have in this arena. It's different than most. You'll be able to access that from the return alley side or the arena floor side, go up into that judges platform, and then they can come out of there and go out onto the arena floor to hand out awards or go back through the back of house space. When that's not in use, we can infill that area for the full bowl to be seated all the way around. We've got our green room and crew room there in orange, and then our loading dock is down on your lower left side. Our large back of house space where they'll set up all their pinning and things like that for equine and livestock events is there on your left, and then our north lobby there on your upper left. Main lobby for the people coming from the barns or the fairgrounds will come into that space, secondary lobby there. And then our main kitchen area just to the right of that in purple. That kitchen has a dedicated service elevator number 3 you see there that is accessed from the kitchen and goes up to a back of house area on the 2nd floor. So they've got dedicated service to bring things into the lounge space or concession spaces as needed. And then the elevator 4 faces the lobby side and will be the public elevator for that lobby. As we get up to the 2nd floor, once again, pretty similar to the last time you saw it, we've got our concessions in the 4 quadrants there, our lounge space on the left, and our main bar on the right. We'll zoom in on around there so you can see it a little closer as well. Nice big open concourse space as you come up from the main entry, room for vendors to be located there on your far right side. That'll be along that east facade that has the windows, so it'll be a really nice big open space with a high ceiling. Our main public bar is there on the bottom portion of the screen, and then our production suite in the green color, really nicely situated up above the seating on the concourse level with a straight shot view right to the stage, whether it's a center stage or an end stage. They'll have a really good view out the windows of that production suite to the stage. Coming around there, we've got our 3 suites, 2 smaller suites and 1 larger suite. They're shown in purple. Our Quad B concession, and then our restrooms and service spaces. Quad C is similar. We've got a concession in that area, our restrooms along the perimeter, the mechanical spaces and trash spaces. And then we've got our big lounge there on the left side in purple with our loge seating off of that. So our premium space there on that side. And then in Quad D, we've got a 4th concession there in the corner. As you come up from that north lobby, you'll have that concession right there as well as the lounge space. Above all that, we've got our catwalk level, which is accessed from stair 4 and stair 2. You'll see here we've got 6 spotlight platforms around the catwalk. Those are recessed about 8 feet below the catwalk to give them direct line of sight without any obstructions for the spotlights during all their events. So that should be a big improvement from where they have right now. We also, I'll point out on here, have a rigging grid that goes across the full arena floor. So that's a really great advantage for the facility and gives them a lot more flexibility than what they have now in the NORC. That's one of the issues they have is it's just really hard to host events that need any sort of rigging up above them because they don't have it currently. So that grid going all the way across will give us a lot of flexibility for any type of events that need to be hosted in there. And then above that, of course, our roof with our 2 mechanical wells on either side that push the air into the main bowl. So cutting through all that, we cut through the model as it sits right now, and you can kind of get a feel for what this space, how it all stacks up and how it all comes together. This is how we model now in 3 dimensions, and we have all of our consultants modeling in the same model, so we get to really coordinate how everything's coming together. hopefully find issues where things are conflicting and we can solve them now instead of in the field. But you can see those roof wells there with the air coming into the bowl, our concourse below that, and then our first level below the grandstands there. As we go spin around and look at the other side, you can see that rigging grid up above with the catwalks and some of those lowered platforms that I talked about for spotlights. The roof wells on either side above our concourse level, and then those areas that are tucked kind of underneath the grandstands there. All of that, the stands sit above our arena floor level for this facility, which is how we like it for the livestock and equine type of events. And then when we do a full bowl experience, those portables will come up, and you can see those little notches in the wall, the arena wall there. That's where the aisles are. The portables will come right up to those, and those aisles will extend all the way down the portable bleachers. So the bleachers will go from concourse level all the way to arena floor. Zooming in on that, I know there's a lot of information in that last one, but this kind of clears it up a little bit just to separate the elements and give you an idea of how it stacks together. We've got our catwalk there shown in yellow. You can see a little better those recessed spotlight platforms. You can see our mechanical units coming into the space and going up over the catwalk. Concourse right there in blue, and the restrooms. The drink rail that we have all the way around the concourse level right before you step down into the grandstands is a nice feature that goes all the way around the concourse. And there you can see those judges' platforms as well, how they'll be set up when they do all the livestock and equine events that have the judges located in those locations. And like I said before, when those aren't in use and they want a full bowl experience, they can infill those with seating. Then our return alleys under that and our mechanical spaces there below. Looking at the exterior, not a lot has changed since the last time you saw it. We've got our panel system with that dynamic pattern going around the upper portion with the masonry on the lower portion. That wraps around all sides of the Coliseum there. We've integrated the big OKC there on the left side that we can see from the highway with the shading of the panels. So it should be a neat element to see from the highway as you pass by. We've got our plaza space on the north, nice and open and flexible so that the fair can program it however they need for all their various events. As we step inside, the interior is still a work in progress, so I'll say these are changing as we speak, but this gives you a nice sense of the volume of the space, so that some of the elements that we're starting to incorporate into it with signage and graphics and different elements like that. One thing that I'll point out in this is those windows that you can see as you go up that main stair that you probably saw on the exterior that we think will be a really neat feature as you walk up those stairs. From our studies, we think that you'll be able to go up that and you'll see out those windows straight out to the downtown skyline, so that should be a really, really neat experience. Our lounge space, once again, working through all the interior elements, but it gives you a sense of the space in there, the premium spaces that we'll have, and then our main bowl here with the livestock type of layout that we have. Schedule hasn't changed since the last time you saw it. We're looking at finishing up the drawings and getting out to bid this summer with the goal of starting construction directly following the fair this year. And that's what I've got. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Right, thank you so much. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that you all have family restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Are those also going to be like gender neutral restrooms? Will you have something gender neutral like in the locker room area? Are the locker rooms going to be available for people to have a private area if they need to change in a private area? Or?
The family restrooms, yeah, are gender neutral. The locker rooms would be, I would think, per event, depending on what the event is. They're flexible spaces. They're all the same, so they can use them however they would need. Yeah.
Thank you. Other questions?
And yes, the toilet space is sectioned off, so it would be a private space.
Other questions? Wonderful. Thank you so much for the
Thank you all
update.
so much.
You know, one thing I want to say is I really appreciate Travis. I think this is the 5th time he's done this presentation between MAPS 3 and MAPS 4, so thank you, Travis.
We do appreciate it. There's a lot of different bodies, so thank you for keeping us updated and informed. So moving on to item 4, discussion items. Mr. Todd, do we have anything for today?
We don't have anything else.
Okay. Item 5, comments by board, staff, and citizens. Do we have any citizens that have signed up to speak? No? Okay. Any comments by staff?
This meeting was fairly short, but trust me, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We've got a lot of consultants that are being hired and just getting ramped up. And as you'll see in the coming couple of months, things will really start popping.
Okay. Well, thank you for all the work that you and your staff are doing to get us prepared.
Thank you.
Okay. Any comments by board? Okay, great. So if there's no other business for us today, we will adjourn our meeting and see you in a month. Thank you so much.